We are back.
We're here.
Another one back like we never left.
Yes.
Welcome back, y'all, to She's Woke Podcast. My name is Naomi Williams.
And my name is Melody.
And welcome, y'all. Yes. We are so excited to be back, y'all. It has been a minute. I first want to take time and thank all 7,000.2 of y'all who watched, who viewed, who interacted with our videos, who gave us great feedback. Thank you so much. And y'all didn't even know that was our very first podcast.
Wow, yes.
Talk a little bit about like how this all happened, right?
Okay, all right. So I ended up just automatically being like, hey Naomi, like let's just rent something real quick. All right, bet. So we ended up renting this. We thought we were just gonna take pictures with our phone, and then ended up
real ghetto, y'all.
and then he came, and it's like, okay, sure, why not? Let's just try it, and it just started off from there. We did it, and we just manifested this. Like, we literally been talking about this.
Literally, y'all. Like it was an amazing experience. Just being on set, like our first time, like actually, like, and I don't even think like a year ago, we didn't even think we were going to be doing something like this, right? We've talked about this so much,
but not like this.
No,
just got set up.
We were real ghetto, y'all. We was on Zoom, right? We was on Zoom, and we had like, you know, we were doing our little thing or whatever on there, and it was really good, and I love that we're able to like bring this to you guys on set, and literally we were talking about this too, like the power of manifesting, right? And I feel like this is like step one of us like creating this vision and dream that we have for our lives.
Yes,
you know. And like I was literally having a whole download, and I called Mel because y'all know this is my best friend.
What's the tea, girl? What's the tea?
Yeah, we've been kicking it for a minute, and so like, you know, she's also my partner with She's Woke. For those who do not know, we run a women's empowerment organization, as you can see in the back, y'all. As you can see, thanks to production for fixing the screen. But yeah, so as you guys can see in the back, we run a women's empowerment organization, and we're both coaches in our own realm. We talked a little bit about it on our first episode, so if you didn't see that one, pause this video right here and catch up and watch the other one, because it was really good, and the topic was like relationships.
Yes,
and it was really good, and we freestyled it, so we're gonna give y'all another one today, okay? But as y'all can see, we have some beautiful mugs on the table, y'all. Mel, talk a little bit about
so this is from my own business, Ujima Therapy for the Soul. I have it right here. Sorry, y'all. Ujima Therapy for the Soul. And it's an intentional cup. So as you can see, there's chakras here, and each one has an affirmation. So my intention with this is, give you an example. There was a rice experiment. You pour it to 3 different containers, all the same rice. And one of the container, you ignore it. The other container, you speak positive things about it. And the other container, because you spoke negative, it got like it had mold faster. The other one, you've seen that, right?
Yep.
Positive, so energy is real. You know, so when you take this drink, and you could choose like which chakras you want to make you feel empowered. Like mine is solar. So I am this, I am that. And, you know, you drink it, that's how you're going to feel. Like, I believe in myself. That's what I'm drinking, pouring into myself. You know, and what's crazy is before any of this, I told my girl, hold on, let's pick a cup. You're not going to look at the chakras. And the intention is, you're gonna choose the cup where you're like already empowered, like where you're at right now and what you're working on. And she chose the intuitive one, the third eye.
Third eye chakra, right here, y'all. We don't know your third eye chakra.
More in tune with herself and all that. And mine is the solar. Like I'm learning to really value myself, you know, be focused. So that's crazy. Energy is real. So that's my intentional cup from Ujima Therapy for the Soul, y'all.
Yes, y'all. And I'm learning about this. And it was crazy because Mel was like, you know, pick a cup or whatever. I closed my eyes. I picked a cup, right? And before you even did that, this cup drew to me. I looked at it and I was just like, oh, okay, but I didn't read it, right? And then, so let me read y'all some of the affirmations that it says, okay? I am worthy of unconditional love from divine energy. I am open to letting go of my attachments.
Girl, we were just talking about that too.
Attachments. I know some of y'all got some attachments y'all need to let go of, okay? I release doubt and welcome faith. That's a really big one, y'all, because sometimes I doubt myself, and I don't know if like you guys are like that. We can be our own worst critics, right? Even if we believe in ourselves, we always have like that like critic in our mind, that judge in our mind that's saying that we can't do something. And I realize that that's something that like holds me back from a lot of the things I want to do, that fear, you know, that doubt that I put in my mind. The next one, I am at peace, and that's a beautiful affirmation to like repeat to yourself. And I was thinking like how intentional you could be with these mugs. Like literally, y'all, like it's all about being intentional. When you wake up in the morning, when you go to sleep, you're being intentional. And so I think this mug is like really, really dope, especially for y'all that are coffee drinkers. We got some coffee in our mugs right now because your girls run on Dunkin', okay? So that is so important. I am love, I am light, I am connected to all. Right, and we all are love and light, and I want to get into a little bit of that when we talk about the 4 agreements, because your girl's been reading, your girl's been taking, right? Your girl's been taking some knowledge. So yeah, and so what are the other ones? I release the need to control my life.
And it correlates so well with what you're going through. Yeah. So we're drinking our intentions in, y'all. For good sign magic.
Yo, we're gonna get into this because I'm already downloading right now. And this is what we do on a regular basis, but I'm already downloaded. And then the last one is I am my highest, most authentic self.
Yes.
Authenticity.
Okay.
Keyword. Yes. All right, y'all. So make sure you guys check out these mugs because they are really, really dope. She has all of the chakras, right?
Yes, I do.
And you can follow her on her social medias, wherever it's plugged here on the screen and in the bio. All right, y'all. So yeah, let's get into today's discussion, y'all. Let's get into it. I first want to check in with my best friend. Okay, I want to check in with you. How are you doing? How are you mentally, spiritually, emotionally? I know it's a download.
I'm trying to think.
I know I can talk about me for myself. I'm like, because I've really like, I mean, you know, my life has just been like, it's just been so much transition in my life in the past like few months, like career transitions in my circle, you know, and I'm realizing that, you know, change is okay. Yes. You know, and I don't know if any of you guys are like me, but like I get big anxiety, and like the control thing is a thing for me. Yes. Control. Like I'm the type of person, and I don't know if this is an Aquarius thing. We're both Aquarius, by the way. Aquarius. Sorry. But I don't know if it's an Aquarius thing or just me. I'm just always in my head and always trying to take control of like just the vision that I have for my life. And when I feel like it's not going in that direction, I like get anxiety. Yeah. You know, so I've just been really in this space where I'm like, okay, Naomi, let go of what you thought the next, like, this year was going to be like. Let go of, like, because I always say, like, we're so calculated and we make plans for ourselves. We make plans for our lives, but we don't actually, I mean, God has his own plan. God laughs at our plans, right? Like, God's like, yeah, girl, you thought, you know? So, I mean, I originally, you know, I was a teacher for 6 years and then had a whole career change. And now I'm a full-time life coach. So I'm really freaking excited about y'all because this has been my calling. This has been my purpose, you know, and I've been speaking to you about it for so long. And it's like, I'm actually doing this, you know, I'm actually doing this. And I think I'm in a phase because I have a whole caseload of clients, y'all. It's insane. I'm actually going to say something about it too because I'm like, goddamn. Because when you got your own problems to worry about and then you got to worry about other people's problems and helping them set their own goals when you're struggling to like get yours together, it's like really overwhelming, you know?
I'm proud of you though.
Thank you.
Because honestly, y'all, hear me out, right? Because when she went through the transitioning, the tower moments of her losing her job, and even before any of this, she was talking about like, yo, I gotta like, I need to get my life together. I need this. And little did she know she was manifesting all this, but it took a lot from her to really have faith and just walk in and like to let go of control, take advantage of the moment, the period where you're not working, and what she wanted is exactly what she got.
Yeah.
By trusting, by releasing control of like how you thought you want things to happen, like just, and then she got it, bro. And that's literally the art of manifestation. Like, it looked like if y'all knew where the plan she has, all like. I'm proud of you because that took a lot, and that was literally a transitioning of like awareness. And
I was scared, girl.
Yes, but that's like what it is. Like you walk by faith, not by sight.
That part, and I had to keep repeating that. I'm like, walk by faith and not by sight. Like, yes, and I literally had to just be still. Yeah, because I was so comfortable. Mm-hmm. I was so comfortable in what I was doing. It was a consistent routine, got up, taught, the babies, do what I had to do, and I was a science teacher, y'all. And then I was literally like, I kept telling myself, I'm not where I need to be. This isn't even the path that I'm supposed to be on. I love what I do. I love my kids, but this isn't the direction I'm supposed to be in. And so I was literally in isolation. I was literally, healing, processing, getting through all that. And I was talking to you the whole time through it, and I was just like, I don't think I want to work a 9 to 5 no more. I don't think I whatever. And then this position landed in front of me, and I was like, wow, it aligns with what I already do being a life coach. So it's been really great. What about you?
Holy shit. Okay, hold on. So I'm like, where I'm at. I was enjoying what you were saying because just being there and present in the moment of your process, it really is magical. I'm like, well, like what's the Naomi? Like, that meme with the shark? You did it, dude.
Finding Nemo and Dory on the turtle.
That's how I am with you. I'm like, yo, you did it. Look
at me. That's literally us. We root each other, and you never throughout that whole thing, you've never you've always picked me up. Like you're the one person I can call and just be like, just download and just be like, oh my God, what is going on? And I appreciate you for that so much. But it's definitely been a lot. But now this life coaching has been amazing, and y'all I never realized my target audience, especially with coaching, is youth. And y'all know youth are our future, y'all. Yeah. And these babies are hurting, man. These babies are going through so much internally. And I also coach women as well, and just helping them set goals for themselves. And I'm realizing, even for ourselves, you can set all the goals you want for yourself, but if you haven't gone through your personal discovery, if you're not aware of the strongholds and the habits and the things that you got to let go of, and your mindset, it's going to be harder to achieve these goals.
But that's why we're life coaches. I'm a spiritual life coach. You're a life coach, and we guide them, especially with the knowledge and the experience. Which we're about to get in with y'all. It helps guide them to the right direction. Because look at society, always on the phone, distractions, not really helping them, making them feel less because of their past. They're not really helping them the way they need to. And if they do get help, you get sent to a psych ward. You feel me? Or you get prescribed something which makes it worse. So this is what we're here.
And that's exactly what I'm realizing too, is that a lot of these kids are put into these systems. One, their parents don't want them. Two, they that feeling of abandonment, and it's you're traumatizing these kids over and over and over and over again, and then expect them to go into the world with just the bare minimum resources that the state gives, right? They put them in these programs. These programs aren't always the best, right? And then they're dealing with having to be on survival mode in these programs, and also trying to be the ideal what society considers the ideal perfect child,
But that's a lot what we struggle with from our past, and going back to how I'm doing, because we got off topic.
I know. Yo, we can
sorry, y'all, we got off topic completely. But what I'm going through right now, right? That's is I'm going through a transformation. I feel like I've already transformed. Basically Neo. Y'all seen The Matrix? Neo, that's make it clear in your head.
Yeah.
Like Neo, he didn't know who he was, and then all of a sudden he gets out of the Matrix and he knows who he is. Like he has these abilities that humans are capable of. You feel me? And embracing it. You get me? So that's how I feel right now. I feel like I transition into a woman that I know who I am now. Like this is who I am. Like a couple of days ago, remember I told you I meditated on the grass? That's when I felt like a lot of things shifted and changed, and just the things I seen, synchronicities, downloads. So now I'm in this place of like really embracing who I am, facing my fears.
Yes.
You feel me? And that you help me with that. Just like how you come to me, I come to you. Like like but fierce is the enemy. It stops us from growing. It stops us from becoming who we are, because we got to pay bills and we got to do this, just like you did. Walk by faith, not by sight. Fear does not exist in faith. You can't have faith if you fear. You get me? It just doesn't go. It
just doesn't work.
Exactly. So you walked, even though you let go of your fear. You trusted it. And she got what she got. She wanted to work in the youth, and she's using that as to extend to her own business. And that's where I'm at. I'm just embracing who I am soul wise, physically, 3D from 5D. So, I see a lot of.
So what do you think is like that pivot moment? Like, what was that like? Something needs to change. Like an elevation needs to happen. Like I need to turn the page. Like what was that moment for you?
It felt like a stuck energy. It was just like, what else can I do now? Like, it's not that I was bored, but it was just like there's something there. Like you just feel it in your gut.
Like like fulfillment.
Fulfillment. It's that crave, that hunger that I want to be there. This is the reality I want to manifest. You get me? So it's just like when that nudge comes, that's exactly what I felt. Go there, meditate, bear the water, buy the grass, and things will come to you. Your heart and your energy. So that's where I felt like it was a nudge.
And I'm learning to like be still. I feel like I low key like self-diagnose myself with ADD, whatever. But it's so hard for me to be still, and just like listen in. So I've definitely been like practicing that, like on a spiritual level. Like that part has been growing for me because, like you said, synchronicity. Like I've been seeing so many numbers. I've been seeing 222, 555, 444, like harassing me, and just understanding what that means and like understanding the confirmation, because I always doubt myself. I'm always like, what's the next move? Well, how do I know it's coming? Like, what is it? What do I need to do? Like, point me in the direction, and it's like, I know you're like,
I'm like trying to like, hold on, go. That's why we're best friends. That you're my soul family, because if you think about it, look, we have everything from each other that we need from each other, because we're trying to understand each other from that level. So like, you face your fears, you're manifesting. Like, this is who you are. Like, you're good, like 3D wise, but 5D spiritual level. Like, I help you with that, and you help me with the 3D. Like, yo, like I'm scared. Like, just do it. Like, you feel me? It's like the so like we're there for each other to help each other through this journey and where we're at individually. That's crazy.
And not just see listen, our brains are ping-ponging off each other right now, because I was just like, and that's exactly what we're talking about, like soulmates and our twin flames and soulmates. I'm learning about that, y'all. Like what exactly a twin flame is, and just like different soulmates you can have. We talked about this in our last episode. Like you can have different realms of like soulmates, someone that brings something to you, someone that adds to you,
or it could take from you.
Let's talk about it.
All right.
So how do you know that you've reached that pinnacle in your life? But like, what does that look like for you? Like, how do you know, like, I'm here, like I've made it? Because I know for me, maybe because I always want more for myself, and I always like, I don't allow myself to bask in what I'm in, because I'm like, this is great, but my vision is so much bigger. So what is that like for you?
What it looks like to me is where I feel like I'm not myself, like that person anymore. Like before, with the argument when I was in my last relationship, he would trigger anger. I would react out of anger. I wouldn't listen. I would throw things, all of that. But that, having an awareness, you have to acknowledge that, it's not him. What is it that he's doing that's affecting my past triggers that's still in me? Thinking I'm over here healed, but not, he's triggering something. So it's my way of communication is listening, not choosing to pick my battles and not to talk and leave it as that. Let it go. You get what I mean? So like when I reach that point where it's just like when there's tests, I guess you can say, I don't respond. So to me, that's like, I made it. Now what else? Because I just opened the door. Now, because I'm not that person anymore. I just elevated. You get me? So because we all have points. It's just whether or not, what does that look like to you? To me, it's I've achieved what I needed to achieve on an inner level, and now I can use that. And what else? How can I use that in my future doors that I'm going to come to?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it just made me think sometimes you have to go through things to get to that actualization, that realization moment that, like, you start to see the patterns. And I think that's a lot of things that all of us struggle with, especially when you're on your, like, people like misconstrue, like, okay, I'm on my self-love, self-worth, self-whatever. But, like, people don't realize that there are things within you, like, okay, the situation took place, but, like, where were you at fault? Right. What did you learn about you in that situation? Right. And I always ask that, especially with dating. And y'all, that's a red flag. If no one can tell you, if they can't tell you what they've learned about themselves or how they grew in their past relationships, if they're like, oh, it was their problem, if they put it on their partner first, that's a big thing. And like you said, like, you had to realize, okay, this experience is causing me triggers in my body. This experience is causing me to react in certain ways, right? And it's so interesting you talked about that level of your journey. And me, and this is what makes us different, because I'm like, business, and maybe that's my Capricorn moon. I was watching this video, and it was saying that when you're Capricorn moon, you're more into, like, the whole materialistic things, the more achieving success, being on a successful path. So I always define it as, like, what level of success I'm on based on what I determine success is, right? Exactly. And so I think I was on this path and, like, in this direction, and I think all that, like you said, those towers and that disruption happened because I needed to focus on the internal person, right? The engine, the one that's running the thing, like, just understanding, well, girl, check in with yourself. You wearing all these hats, you doing all these things, but, like, how are you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you? Right.
You're always moving.
Yeah, and it's like, if you don't check in with yourself, everything else, it's not gonna go the way you want it to. You can have all these dreams or whatever, but if you struggle with procrastination, if you struggle with making excuses with yourself, if you struggle with distractions, if you struggle you know what I'm saying, if you just struggle with, like, self-doubt and all those things, like, those are the things you need to get rooted in first. Where does that come from?
You have to be aware that it's there and exactly ask your questions, like, where did that come from?
So it's just really been about, like, just isolation and being still right now. And I feel like going back to, like, when I know I've made it, is when things happen and change happens, and I don't get easily affected by it. I'm able to say it's okay. I'm able to say, listen, I'll let it go. Didn't it say that? Let it go. Right? I'm able to, like, let it go and just, like, let life take me, and not being so, like, focused on the steps that need to happen. And then the steps will come. It'll come to me just like when those moments will we be on the phone. I'm like, oh my God, light bulb in my head right now. And so, and just using that as that driving force, and, like, silencing that inner critic in your head. Oh my God, I'm download. But, like, even the inner critic, just understanding where that comes from, that's part of self-awareness too. Like,
I'm going through that right now. Yes.
Talk about it, girl.
Oh my goodness. The fact of being afraid to, like, not want to go through or complete my projects. Like, I'm, like, over here thinking, like, yo, like, what if no people come, or what if this X, Y, and Z, and I'm letting that get to me. But it's because, of my father. Everything stems back. It's just like having not a lot of faith in me, not trusting me, and putting me down, saying, like, I can't, like, he's a good father now, but I'm just saying past then. So that's affected me now, and I just got to get through that.
And I think that too. I think judgment, or, like, is a big thing, or, like, what people see and what people think. I think image has always been an important thing for me, and so that's also a thing that I'm learning too, is, like, not giving a fuck. Y'all, not giving a fuck what anybody has to say, what they think that where you should be and how you do it. That's oh my God, it's 3:33, y'all. It's 3:33. Yo, that's crazy. This is exactly what we're talking about. Wow.
That's synchronicity.
You can't make this up, y'all. You cannot make this up. Okay. So and I was also thinking, like, And I don't know about you, if we think back to like where we've been in life, right? What we've already manifested, we talked a little bit about it earlier, like are you experiencing or like have you seen like the things that you've manifested, the things that you spoke about actually come into fruition?
Yes. And that's what scares me sometimes, because I know more and bigger is coming.
Yeah.
And like the apartment that I wanted, even though it didn't go how I planned to get it, I got it. Like, and it's there. You get me? The right child. And man,
that was crazy.
That was crazy, right?
Let's talk about that, because that was crazy.
Yeah. No, so I manifested my child. I've been wanting a boy, right? Now, before he was even born, his father was laying there. I was laying on the other side. And it felt like his little soul was right in the middle. And we knew it was precise, because this is what we wanted to name him. So then after that, like, I didn't say nothing. Larry said something. Damn, hold on. Yeah, my child's father said something. And then I said something. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I didn't know. Like, you felt that, bro? Like, so it was into manifestation. I wanted him so bad, and he came.
And he came, little precise.
That was interesting.
Oh my, that was crazy, y'all. That was crazy. She's really in tune, okay? Yeah, so I just think, I don't know, I feel like for myself, this is deep. Because I feel like I've manifested these things, like, you know, the fiance, the white picket fence, the dog, the family, right? Like, I manifested the things that others wanted from me. You know, like what?
Ooh, that's deep.
With the image of what society wanted, right? And so now I'm kind of like in this phase where it's just like, well, why does it have to be that way? Why does it have to be cookie cutter, clean, perfect, right? It's because of judgment. And judgment is a big thing, y'all. And we were actually crazy. We were talking about, because you read the 4 agreements, right?
Yeah.
Y'all.
Bro,
I feel I'm late to the party. I'm almost done with the book.
You're never late. It's always in your journey, in your time. Never late.
I know, but I'm like, to actually pick up a book and read. And I've been wanting to read this book so much. Like, and I went to bookstores, try to find it or whatever. And then I just randomly went to like Five Below or something like that. And I seen the book there, and I was like, oh my God, y'all. And so if y'all read the 4 agreements, y'all know what I'm talking about. But the 4 agreements is 1, be impeccable with your word. Being mindful of, because we're love and light, right? Being mindful of what you speak out into the atmosphere. You know, the emotional poison that you could be pouring onto people, or you're allowing people to pour onto you. People that you shouldn't have in your life because they're not aiding to you, right? And just being mindful, because I was very triggering with my words.
Yeah.
I was very like, I'm going to hurt you because I'm hurt, right? And so I don't know if you have anything to say about that, when the power of word, the power of like...
Man, power of word is real, bro. Like, karma comes back to you not just through actions, but through words too. Like, you got to be conscious of what the things you say, the thoughts, and that comes out of your mouth. It all comes together, and you'll attract that, or it's going to come back to you, especially if you're really speaking to somebody bad. Bro, it happened to me.
Yeah.
Like, when I was younger, as a child, I wanted my sister to pee in her bed because she got me mad.
What?
Yes. I was young, and I was just like, God, let her pee in her bed. And bro, the next day, I peed on my bed.
Karma, come right back
That's
around.
the coincidence don't happen. That was words speaking on to me, and be like very cautious and aware of what you're saying.
Yeah. And like, I know we've all experienced it, like whether it be in school, like our parents, whatever the case may be, we remember those things that people say to us. You're dumb. You know, that's why I'm so mindful of the things that I say. I don't ever call anybody like out their name, you know, they're dumb or you're stupid or whatever the case may be, because that's how you're going to operate in the world. Because in your mind, you agree to those things, right? Especially if somebody keeps telling you it over and over again, especially in relationships, someone keeps like putting you down, gaslighting you, making you think you're crazy.
And then you end up becoming that.
You end up becoming that because you've made an agreement with your mind saying that that is who you are because they said so, or multiple people. You could have heard it multiple times, right? And you agree with that, and it becomes your identity.
Yes, and you give it permission.
Yes.
Permission to hurt you and make it into you.
Yep, and that's how you operate in the world. And you start telling yourself, oh, I'm dumb or I'm stupid, you know, and I ask people, where did that come from?
Yep, and that's going back to you just manifested that person, the things that the person was telling you.
Yeah.
You just manifested their words. So.
Yeah, or I can't do this, having like, you know, not having a growth mindset, saying like, dang, I can't do this, or of course you can.
Yeah.
You keep telling yourself you're not going to do something, then you're just not going to do it, right? And so words have so much power, and you know, and just not allowing yourself, and that was the next one, don't take anything personal. That is something that, like, man, I've been thinking about so much. Don't take anything personal, y'all, because it's like sometimes people are going through their own thing, their own journey, and it has nothing to do with you, right? Like we were talking about experience, like dating, and then like, you know, you can be doing all that you think that you need to do in a relationship, and then that person just goes ghost on you, right? Doesn't treat you right. You know, talks to you like, you know, however they think that they can, you know, and for me, I know I take that personal, right? It's like instantly, what did I do wrong?
Exactly.
Like instantly, what is going on? And then I get into this fix it mode, right? And so now I'm learning, don't take it personal. That person is upset whether you did something, you know, and you didn't know that you hurt that person, or they just decided to just leave out of your life and they gave you no reasoning. I don't know. There may be a woman on here that I'm talking to, right, who's hanging up on the phone trying to get Joe Schmo to answer the phone, trying to get Jaquan to answer the text. Like, what happened? We had a good time. We were doing our thing. Where you go, right? And sometimes we have to learn to like not take that stuff personally, y'all. Like, you may be on a whole different personal journey on yourself where you're ready for these things, where you're ready for a relationship, ready for a commitment, and that person may have had their own personal traumas or their own personal experiences. So things that trigger you may not trigger that person, you know. And just understanding that even though it was messed up, it was fucked up, you know, like that's not your job to fix it. That's what I'm learning. It's not my job to fix, right?
Because there was this quote. Well, I didn't hear it. Actually, I didn't see it. I heard it. And she said, you can't be responsible for the way people react towards, you know, what you say and even how you act. So you might have said something and it made them go ghost.
Right.
You feel me? Or you might have said something and then they get mad or they cry. You can't feel bad about that. That's not your responsibility. So you kind of have to, when that happens, you kind of just have to take in their actions, because actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
And be like, all right, well, you know, I'm not going to let it affect me. What you said, you can't let it like affect you. You can't like just, it has nothing to do with me. It has something to do with them.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't,
Hell yeah, girl. And so, and like you said, like just understanding like the power that sometimes you can feel like this thing, like really it's on you, and you take that ownership and that fault. Like sometimes people can't handle the way that you communicate. You know, be mindful. Like I always say, don't communicate in a space of hate. Always communicate with love. Even if you're giving someone feedback, whether or not they can't handle it or they get upset or whatever, you know that you came from a place of love. You know that you didn't hold yourself back. You set your boundaries strong. Like those things are important. However they take that is on them, and you can't be afraid of letting people walk out of your life. If it's not meant for you, it's not meant for you.
Exactly. But that also goes with the way you pick and choose your battles. It goes together. You feel me? You want to react and don't react. Should I give you my energy to react? No. Right? Don't react.
Just let it go. Just let it roll off, right?
Oh man.
The other one was don't make assumptions, right? And that one's tough. That was tough, especially in relationships. Y'all, how do you not make assumptions if you calling and he ain't answering the phone, right? And as a woman in our mind, we be like, oh, well, he's doing X, Y, and Z. Maybe he's not talking to me, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. We drive ourselves crazy with assumptions.
Girl, actually, we gotten better. We're getting better because like it goes with the conversation that we had. Like we make assumptions because we don't know how to let go of what another person is doing. Yeah. You get me? Like we make assumptions because you're not like, remember we spoke about you're not trusting the process. Like you don't know what that person's journey is, and you have to trust and have faith that if it's meant to happen, that's learning how to let go. You can't force a situation or anybody to happen.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, you can't make assumptions, and it correlates with that, because then what? You drive yourself crazy. You're giving that person energy.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, yo, they're like taking that energy to call them 300, 500 times.
Yeah.
Like, nah, like, you can't make assumptions. It's going to drive you crazy.
No.
Been there. Shit.
Or even assuming that, like, someone is, like, the way that you feel about someone is the same way that they feel about you.
Yes.
You know, that is an assumption. Like, oh, I know, you know, he loved me. I know he said this.
Yep.
That's an assumption. That he may come off that way. He may give you that energy, but you're reading a little bit too deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's how you get yourself hurt.
Yep.
When you assuming things that are not. You're making it your reality.
Yeah.
You're making an assumption your reality, and so that's why even
when you're accepting.
You're accepting it. You're accepting it. This is what it is. You know, or. Even if somebody's like can be genuinely a good person, but based on your past experiences, you go into your negative files of all situations that felt like it, sound like it, and you project that, you know, onto the relationship, you know, and putting that burden, putting that weight onto someone else because you assume that you're just like the others, right?
Exactly.
Without even knowing.
Yeah. Well, it just hit me. It's like getting a little bit off topic.
Yeah.
But like everything we're saying about, you know, thinking low and saying all this stuff, it leads to depression. And to those who are going through depression, like, to get out of your thoughts means to really understand your thoughts and become friends with like the low talks. I mean, you know, the low negative talks, because then it's like you get to understand yourself. You're understanding that other person, that little you know. And then if you know, part of the depression can come with you know how you're talking and the way you're allowing people to treat you. Because I know back then, like, I allowed these things from an ex. You know, it's to the point where he made me go to the hospital because I was like, yo, I'm done. Like, I'm all set. I just zoned out, took the pills. That's how I ended up in a hospital in the psych place for 3 days, you know? So that in itself, like, be very mindful and just take the time to get to know yourself and conquer your own thoughts by like taking the action. Don't listen to, let's just stay in bed. You know, like, get up, force yourself to get up. You know, easier said than done, but you can do it because we've both been there. You know,
hell yeah,
so,
hell yeah. Especially like before, like being where we're at right now, I think we have this level of self-awareness, and we've been like intentionally going through this journey. But depression, the energy of depression is real deep. It's real strong, and like I battled that a lot growing up. You know, losing my dad, having abandonment issues. You know, I'm an only child, so I didn't really have anyone to turn to. And my biggest pivotal moment, and I'll never forget, because I was at that point, I wasn't eating. I was, you know, just like real over a boy, over a boy,
right.
16.
Over,
what the hell?
No.
I laugh at it now, but like it was real. And, you know, depression runs in my family, and like it's something that like and suicide and all that, and it's something that I'm so intentional about, just making sure, just keeping my mind in a clear headspace, because I know at the bottom feels like that.
But how
sadness.
did you get there? Like, from who you are now, like, one, did you ever think you would be in this place that you are right now? And two, is like, what are the examples that you took for yourself to get to that place of like, I'm good?
That's a loaded question, but so much just came to my mind just now. Because it all started with my daddy issues. It all started with, like, you know, him leaving and me not understanding what cancer was, me not understanding like why this had to happen to me, kind of thing, you know. And I mean, my mom was as supportive as she could be, but she's her own woman going through her own things, you know, her own transitions and stuff. And so, and just her whole healing process. So I don't think she was able to support me as much as I could. But when I became 12, because he passed when I was 9, I became 12. I seen his obituary. I cried, right? And that's when I started to releasing, like, what is this sadness that I'm feeling? You know, and then fast forward, you know, the relationships that I were going in, it was clearly defining this girl got daddy issues. I had daddy issues and I was boyhood, y'all. I was like attaching, holding on. And then it became this like, I had this like really big breakup. not the one that like when I was younger, 16 in the hospital. This is like now I'm an adult. Now I have a kid. Now I'm just trying to like find love and find a man, you know. And I feel like that's why like God blessed me with a son, because I feel like with him I get that unconditional love. Like a man could leave my life and I will be okay. And I think that's what I, you know, was blessed with.
Yeah.
But I went to his grave site one day, you know, and I just wrote, because at first I was afraid to even touch the grass. Like, it was one of those things, like, the energy was just, like, really strong. And I just sat there and I journaled and I released and I released. And, you know, I was like, you know, I'm mad at you that you weren't there. Like, that hurt me, you know, like, just all these things. That why weren't you there when this and this happened? And then as I was journaling, I started to realize that, like, everything that I'm going in my life, that I went through in my life, is equipping me for where I need to go. Because as a coach now, I'm realizing all of my past traumas and experiences and all the crazy things that I did when I was younger, running away, running away from something, right? It led me back to myself. It led me back to understanding, okay, I'm repeating these patterns. How do I fix it? And that was my journey, you know, just being intentional, being aware. Awareness is key, y'all. Awareness, acceptance, you know, and acknowledging your faults and creating an action around it, you know, and how are you going to move past that?
And also knowing who you have around you. Because who you have around you could either make you or break you. Because like if you hang around with people who are not in your same focus, at some point you're going to be unfocused as well, because they may distract you from something, or you understand what I'm saying? So that's very important, even with your own journey. Because without you, I know, like, after my ex-best friend, like, I was just isolated by myself, but like I know I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for our friendship, especially who I am individually.
I know.
Especially who I am individually as a woman. You know, like, we definitely exchange energy, because it's like I wouldn't be here.
For real. And y'all can see, I know y'all see the vibe.
You see the energy, like, stop playing.
Yeah, that's so real. And there's last one before with the 4 agreements, before we take a break, and we're gonna play. Just grab a few cards, because we want to give y'all a little bit something different. So our last one. So with the 4 agreements, y'all, and y'all read this book, y'all, because it's really mind blowing. And the last point, the 4th agreement, is you know, just always doing your best. You know, not allowing you know, because it talks about, there's the book of law, right? So when you're born, you're already told that this is the direction your life's supposed to be, and this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get a wife, your husband, or whatever the case may be. You're supposed to, you know, work a 9 to 5, do X, Y, and Z. You're not supposed to sin. You're not supposed to X, Y, and Z. You know, your relationships have to be based on societal standards, and just understanding that, like, you know, you don't have to follow that book. You don't have to agree, having that agreement with what the world wants for you, right? You can redefine what life looks like for you. You can create that vision, that dream for yourself in your life, and, you know, execute that, you know. And then there's that judgment piece where, like, you know, there's people around us that judge us, you know, allowing yourself to not be affected by that, you know. And don't play the victim card. And that's big, because sometimes, and this is something that I teach my clients too, like, you know, realizing that, like, when you tell your story, sometimes we tell our story and we talk about all the sad things, but just like when we shared, we talked about those moments, but we don't stay in those moments. We don't consider ourselves victims, right? Like, we're talking about the trial to the triumph, you know, and understanding that this is my story, but here is where it's leading to. Here is that, like, you know, that empowerment piece, empowering yourself, you know. And so as long as you know that you're, you know, following your calling, following your purpose, you know, and you're really giving it your all, you know, and doing your best, that's literally all you can do. Even if your best is just the smallest little thing during the day. You did one thing for your business, you did one thing for yourself, you went for a walk, you know, you journaled, whatever the case may be. That is you doing your best and learning to celebrate yourself in the moment, you know.
Yes, and to add on to that, society. Oh, word. Because what it does is, like, it kind of deflects you, so whatever, deflects you from your true calling, who you are, like, what brings you light, what brings you fire. That's because society obviously deals with fear. You get me? Like, just being like, yo, like, how can I follow my heart if I gotta do this? And, you know, you have no time, you're working half the time, and you come back, you gotta do exactly. So you're always moving, you know. And in order to get to what you're saying, you have to let go and have faith in where you're going. Have faith that you're going to be taken care of, even if you don't see it. And I'm talking from a metaphysical.
Yeah.
Metaphysical or mystical level or something. From a higher level. You get me? So like, and if y'all wondering like, well, it sounds good, how do I do that? That's how you do it. Release, let go, follow your heart, follow what feels right to you, you know. To forget about what you just said, like judgment. Stop judging yourself. You know, by judging yourself, it's called you're putting fear onto yourself, and now you can't take the action to do it because you're judging yourself due to, you know, the talks that you're having with yourself. You know, and not
emotional poison.
Exactly. And not caring about what other people, especially your family, what they may think and how they may view you. You get me? You become your authentic self by not caring. That's not what you think of me is not a reflection of me.
Has nothing to do with me.
I'm gonna do what feels right to me, and it may not always be what people expect, and some people may not like it. But that's what it is, conquering the fear of judgment. You keep it pushing, like just keep doing what you love, have faith, trust, and you know, that's a lot of
okay. And it's okay. It's okay to be the black sheep. It's okay.
Exactly. Be proud being the black sheep. I am.
Period. Do your thing. All right, y'all. So we're gonna take a quick break right now, y'all. We are about to come back and pull some of these deck of cards.
Let's go.
Right, y'all. So we'll be right back.
Yes.
All right, y'all, we are back. So we have some table topics, do-it-yourself therapy, y'all. This is not a promo, but I love these cards and I use these with my clients. So we're just going to pull a couple cards and we're just going to read them and have each other answer the questions. The first one is, what part of you do you continue to fight?
I continue to fuck them.
Like what parts of you continue to like fight with each other?
My thoughts, the low talks of not being able to do it. That's what I'm fighting currently right now.
That negative self-talk.
Yep.
And then also believing you can do it at the same time.
I can do it, trusting that I can do it. Yep.
I think that's me as well.
All right. Let me see. If there's one thing that no one understands about you, what is it?
So I guess it's just, the drive that I have, or, you know, just my ability to, you know, not really be affected by things. I think people like sometimes expect me to be all riled up and all like da-da-da, but I'm like, no, I'm learning to like let it go, you know, and also the freedom that I have. I'm a very free person. I'm a very open person. Like you cannot, even in a relationship, like you cannot like lock me down. Like that's one thing that like,
I like that. I like that.
So what self-help books do really helped you? Is it like a book in mind or like something that was like life-changing for you?
It was which one was it called? Something about getting in tune with yourself. I forgot what book it is, like The Angel or something. And that's when it really started to have an understanding of who I am and how to go gravitate towards life and understanding some of the spiritual aspects of things. Yes. I forgot what it's called, but yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's Iyanla Vanzant, all of her books, from pieces to broken pieces, something like that, from broken pieces to peace. Alexandra L. After the Rain, and so those books are like personal development books, and just really being aware of like, you know, that empowerment piece, like the things that you've gone through in your past, and how do you overcome it? How do you let go? You know,
and Metu Netter, that's a good book, y'all. Metu Netter.
Yes. All right, y'all, we are finna wrap up. That is it. another successful episode down in the books, y'all. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit those post notification buttons so that you know whenever we drop a video, you guys are not left out, y'all. Okay?
Don't miss it. Okay,
don't miss it. Like and subscribe, y'all. Hit that post notification button. We are so glad to be back with y'all. Stay tuned for another episode. Make sure y'all put in the comments what other topics you would like to see, because we have some good things brewing up for y'all. We ain't gonna talk about it, but we have some good things brewing up for y'all. Okay, make sure you follow us on social media. You can follow me at Naomi V Williams on Instagram. You can also follow me my business page, Coach by Naomi, if you were looking to do a 30-minute self-discovery call with me.
And you can find me on my Instagram, ascending_being. You can find me there. You could also contact me if you're looking to do spiritual work, energy, Reiki, spiritual guidance. Don't be afraid. I have it all. But yeah, I got y'all. So don't. Yeah.
Awesome, y'all. Peace and love.
Peace and love, y'all.
In the next video. Woo!